Yo guys, what's up? We're back with a very yellow, very yellow car. Done a little bit of work on this off stream, as you might be able to work out once you've unblinded yourself from this brighter than sunny D yellow that we have here. Yellow ones do not go faster. I think you'll find that this one definitely goes faster. Definitely goes faster. The yellow is immaterial. Gets to the end of the course faster than the other cars because I can't look at it anymore. Veer off. That's it. They're done. So, here we go. This has been started off stream so that I can do a how to paint yellow video. I realized in our last stream we were talking about painting yellow and ways of doing it, and somebody said, like, categorically, you can't put yellow down over black. Bet you a tenner. So I figured, you know what, we haven't done a video on how to paint yellow, and I love painting yellow. Yellow is one of my absolute favourite colours to paint. So how could I not? Damn, look at all the hosts. You guys are epic. We just had hosts from Crooked Grin, I'll Print You One, Stu Redacted, Dreadfear, Hellstrom Guy, who was also followed, and Stu Redacted getting their meeps going on as well. Brand new. Well done, Stu. They can't, Jay can. Hey, anyone can if you follow the guide that I will have out on Friday. There you go. Liamski is here. Liamski, this is for you. You said, you know, dealer's choice when it came to this. So we went with dealer's choice. Dealer's choice was yellow. And Liamski, thank you for that host as well. Right, we're going to pop the Orks over to one side. I'm not going to be working on those themselves today. We've got wheels, metallics, and then some bits in here to do with the airbrush. We have to be very careful to ensure that we don't get any of the like black or metallic paint onto the yellow, but that's why we're doing this here. Before we do any of our edge highlights, we've got something we can do to sort it out. Yes, Stu Redacted, there is. I'll tell you what, mate, I'm going to do it right now. Message me on Discord and say, hey, this is what happened. Can I please have my meeps? And I will sort you. But not to worry, bro. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some black. Or is it? Yeah, why not? We're going to do the black. And I want to airbrush this and this. Black. Actually, it makes more sense to do the metallics first. I'm going to airbrush. No, I have to paint that. Okay, I'm going to have to paint that, so that's fine. So let's do the black. So, in one of these drawers. It's this one. It's not that one. It's alright, we've got some on the countertop. We have some cling film. Here we go. And we're going to use this to mask our racing car from the airbrush. Ripsail! Cheers for the follow. I've never used yellow and worried about how bad it would be on black without an airbrush. Well, as well as painting yellow like this with an airbrush, we're going to do some yellow on the helmets of the Blood Angels Outriders that we're painting. I'm going to do that without an airbrush. So there will be both a with and without airbrush version of this tutorial. So I've got you covered, dude. Don't worry. Don't worry. Thou shalt be sorted. Alright. Just get that properly wedged in under there. Now, this is a little trick that I frequently use. It's a lot quicker than fucking around with a lot of masking tape. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of tape on there to secure it. But that's a lot quicker than literally covering all of that with tape. You know? Tim. No, not yet, but I didn't expect it to just yet, mate. Like, I'd be extremely surprised if that rocked up right now. let's see. We have something in the way. Was it the light that I moved back a minute ago? So there's that bit covered up. There's Doggo faster than standard Dares. I mean, it's a Doggo. It's kind of made for speed, whereas I feel that Dares, from everything we've come to know about the man, is made for less speed. Mad Goat! Dude, thank you very much for that sub. That's 2 months now. Yo, dude, how's it going? It's going really well, man. It's going really well. We've done a lot of work on the Blood Angels today. Getting those done. And Lord Endus getting their sub on as well. You guys are all amazing. Thank you very much. Danny, that was terrible. Slash Donkey, how you doing? Scrub Lord, what up, bro? Made for, what's the opposite of speed? I think it is slow. I mean, that's... slow is opposite of fast. No, the opposite of speed would be... Because speed is not velocity, or is it velocity? Does speed have direction? Or is it speed doesn't have direction, velocity does have direction? I'm trying to remember my A-level math, and it was a very long time ago. So, you know. Right. Jaeger! Dude, thank you very much for that sub. It says 1 year drawing in fast, another step closer to earn those hazard stripes. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. And, choo-choo, the hype train is here. It's in the station. There's AJC72 getting their sub on as well. That's 8 months for them. Dude, congrats. Right, so, we'll let saran wrap later. We've protected all that yellow. Just need to ensure we can get to these bits. Now, when we paint this, like the rockets and the... I don't even know what this thing's really called. Is it like some sort of air intake? There's enough gearheads in the audience. Christ, now I really do sound like I want to be on Top Gear. Power! There's enough gearheads in the audience that will know what that's called, I'm sure. Evening and velocity does have direction. Nice. Well, thank you. Sarah, thank you for the host. Absolutely superstar. Opposite speed is couch potato. Yeah, when I did my maths A-level, the most fun part of it was mechanics, which was basically physics without having to do all the other sciencey stuff. So, really enjoyed that. Right, let's pop that out of the way, and let's get on with this black. Now, this will not be the first time that I've painted this black, and that's a spoiler for the upcoming video this week. Let's get all the airbrush stuff sorted out. Danny! Cheers for those cheers, man. Thank you very much. We are a level 2 hype train now. And Jason, thank you for the host. Nothing wrong with Top Gear, mate. There is everything wrong with Top Gear. There was nothing wrong with the old Top Gear, which was amazing. You're about a tunnel. This. Can we have a honk? Honk. I guess. Sarah, you should be able to change the quality down. You should be able to do that. If not, that is weird. Right, what we're going to do is going to give a quick black undercoat to both these two bits and the wheels, despite the fact the wheels have already been painted black. Need to do it again because we want to make sure we've got a uniform black on these. If we need to do any touch-ups or you know, we've got that. We're not having to go back to using a primer, so it keeps it nice and stable all the way through. And I'm expecting to have to do some touching up around what I've now been reliably informed is a tunnel ram, or super cool bit on top of that sticks out of a bonnet of a car, as I've always known it. The make car go faster bit. Just put another little bit of tape on there to hold that down just a little more. There you go, that'll stay a little bit more flush now. Helping our airbrush out. Yeah, expected that to go in around there a little bit just to tidy it up, but to be honest, that's fine, because what we're really looking to do is paint the top of it and get the top of it looking pretty cool. Anywhere around the sides that just needs a little bit of extra love, that could just be done with a brush, and there'll be no issues there whatsoever. Air intake, hood scoop, any of these things. And a cheeky little thank you for your guides, along with new idea, and I'll print you one, answer my numerous very basic questions. Been really helpful. Hey man, thank you, and thank you for watching them. Like, the only reason that I do them is to try and help people out, and so I hope people are getting something from it. If there's a guide that you haven't got, and you're like, you know what, Jay? I'd really like it if you showed me how to do whatever this thing is, then tell me, and we'll see if we can fit it into the schedule. That goes for everyone, though. Like, if there's anyone in the chat that's like, actually, mate, I really fucking want to know how this works, or how to do this, then please let me know. So far, the ones I've got planned, obviously we've got how to paint yellow. We've got a 5-minute faces, is what I'm going to call the video. I'm going to paint a face slowly. I'm going to show everyone the techniques to do it, and I'm going to put a timer on that's visible on screen, and then 5 minutes, bam, done. See if we can get it done. Yellow ones suck harder. Brilliant. Brilliant. Also, Sarah, sorry to hear that. But thank you for stopping by anyway, and the hosts mean so much. Still haven't heard back from Twitch regarding partnership application. So I'm going to take no news as good news currently. And that maybe they're having to, like, really, like, do some digging through. I don't know. I don't know. If anyone from Twitch is watching, it's definitely apple juice, and this is just a regular decaffeinated coffee with like some almond syrup in it. Mikey says, how to get good. So I'm planning a video series which is literally called How to Paint Anything. Because I do everything with the same techniques. Anyone that's a student in my classes will know what I'm talking about here, because they'll have seen some of the lessons sort of repeat parts from other lessons. And so I could literally do a guide how to paint everything. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, because surely at that point you're like, right, well, I've done every guide I'm ever going to need, i.e. this one. What more do you want? NMM steel and bronze on rough rounded surfaces. I mean, no. Lord Discordants and Helldrakes is you pay someone else to do it. That's the way. Speaking of Helldrakes, I see Ben's Helldrake shipment has at least turned up in one of two places. Congrats on an extremely cheap Helldrake. You are never ever going to get a Helldrake that cheap ever again. Rob, pretty nice Wargame. We also waited over a month for partner. Yeah, fair. Like, I imagine that they're just like inundated with stuff, like requests for it, because more people than ever are now streaming. Yeah, lockdown has really boosted all of the stream community to entirely brand new levels. So I'm not surprised. But we're still hopeful. Best luck to you guys Wargaming guys. I know Rob. I've met him a couple of times at events. I know people that do not get on well with Rob, but he's never done me any disservice. So, in fact, actually, one better than that, like several times that my name has come up on their streams, he's had nothing but the nicest things to say. So, I got no issues with the guy. Modflight, I don't think that one's in my wheelhouse, you know. Twitch listened into story time about the explosive poo and I think you twice, yeah. I mean, it's not happening. Couldn't blame I had a charge of choosing partner. Spain, can you imagine? Can you imagine? You know, like, knowing they were a streamer, I signed up and I now work from Twitch. I left my wife and family behind to go and work in America just to find this one guy. And now I shit on him. That's what's happened, you know. Oh God. So Des thinks he's going to try and guess what I'm saying from the chat. So chat, go wild. Make up whatever shit you want. Get Des completely off the right page. Right. There's all the wheels done. So, a lot of you have watched the How to Paint Black video that we've got on Patreon. And if I'm honest, that is the literal best way of painting black. However, it's very difficult to get hold of tire black. I'm literally about to paint tires. Tire black would be the exact paint to use for this. Exact paint to use for this, but I'm not going to. What we're going to do instead is going to use Incubi Darkness, which you guys can all pick up from GW. And we're going to mix this into black, and we're going to work up from a darker version of this on all of our tires and all of the black areas on the miniature. We're then going to work in some Administratum Grey in a hope that we can get somewhere close to how good the black looks in that video. I don't think it's going to be the case that you could use this as a straight replacement, but we're going to try. Yeah, a little bit of experimentation. Meaty Hooks, I'm so glad, dude. I'm so glad. So going in, we're going to start off 2 to 3 black to Incubi Darkness. I love the stuff that's come in the chat. There's just got to be satellite. I'm being trolled. And he's now easily got to the bit where I said troll Des as much as you can. So now he knows. But glad you guys are liking the Helldrakes. To be honest, they're not that bad to paint, and if I was to do one now, I'd have a much easier time of it, because I'd airbrush the entire thing with whatever the trim colour was, then go right back in and just do like the panels, like edge them with a brush, and then just clean them up with the airbrush, highlight those. Hardman, thank you for the follow. And that'd be a much easier way of doing it. Kuba, cheers for the follow. Jaeger says, tonight on Hawk here, Jay takes an Ork car. Des tries to become a psyker. And chat does all it can to fuck with the Twitch algorithm by hosting a stream. Right, so what we're going to do is going to take our cocktail stick and just mark into all the blue tack. because what I want is to have like a clear, this is the bottom, and then we know the top is everywhere else. So let's start with this bit, and let's see what this is like. So we want our highlight to have a nice shadow, and that's why we've got this mark here. Alright, that's going to help me as I come round here. We're working very dark colour on the very dark colour. It's going to help me to know when we've just got far enough round on our highlight pass, and we can just start sort of feathering that out. Now I thought about doing white wall tyres, but then I saw all these fucking Bodicea spikes, and I'm like, nah. No. Yeah, now that makes sense. There we go, Des. You caught up. So this is coming up as a pretty reasonable facsimile right now of Tyre Black. Let's see what it's like when it's dry. Anyway, while I'm painting this thing, what about you guys? What are you painting? Is anyone doing some hobby today? What you got on your table? That is actually remarkably close to Tyre Black. So a 3:2 ratio of Incubi Darkness to black. What would the Mogear Stig be called? Stighawk. It would be Stig's anarchist cousin, and you'd have the racing helmet with a hole cut in the middle and just mohawk at the top, and then out the flap of the racing car visor, just a beard that's just like tucked in and out. Some say she eats everything she comes by and only shits when Jay isn't looking. All we know is she's got the meat! I fucking love Top Gear. I really did. Oh, God. Right, just going to second pass on some of that. Just to help push it out a little bit more from what we're working with there. We will probably grab that Gravedigger denim out as well. Right, that's the bottom side. Modelling Super Hawk wings, we're trying to figure out if they are more mechanical or flexible. I always thought the like the OG models were definitely flexible wings, like almost to the point where they're real wings, because aside from the feathers of bird wings, they are made of bone. You know, and there's a little bit of what you could call bone down the middle of each of those wings, right? Each of the feathers. And Eldar Tech is all about like wraith bone armor and so on. So to me, it always felt like they were Strig's British cousin. Brilliant. We've got 4 Crypto Thralls and a Royal Warden. Nice change from painting 25 plus models at once. Yeah, definitely. Getting the Obliterator. Nice, dude. Nice. Also, like hearing that you've got some Rival Craft tech on deck. I've never used their pre-made basing toppers, because that's not really how I do things. Oh, also for the base for this guy, I want to go simple, but I want to make it look cool AF. So what? I can't believe I'm going to do this. What I'm going to do is on the base, everyone get ready for the Hot Fuzz quotes here. I'm going to do skid marks. Now he's being immature. I'm going to try and get the back wheels sort of skidding around that way. So if we grab this thing, it'd be sort of power sliding round on a base like that. Should just about be able to get that wheel on here, that wheel about there, and dig up some like earth here and here for like a 2 back wheel power slide. That's the plan. Whether that works or not is another matter entirely, but that is the plan. Also, I thought the no light catching them squigs then was pretty good. Pretty good. Repaint the Helldrake with contrast and dry brushing. Nice, go for it, dude. I don't give a shit what you do with it. I'm never painting that fucking thing again, so you can break it if you want. About sometimes, yeah, it's basically what Wraithbone is. So I think the wings would be almost functionally exactly the same as bird wings. So the same like movement, the same sort of responsiveness and so on. Right, that's the top part. Just the one squig, actually. I think they're giving 50 quid to dodgy traveller types to tarmac the base. Brilliant. I fucking hate parkies. This is a campsite. A fucking parky campsite. Oh, this is gonna go wrong. You mark my words. This is gonna get messy. Right, let's grab that Gravedigger denim, work up. So this is one of the best colours from P3. This is fucking great. So good. What else we got? Working on some homemade Space Marines chapter. I will try oil colours for the first time. Wish me luck. Good luck, dude. Good luck. You doing oils for like washes, or are you gonna try and paint it with oils? Scrub Lord colouring in some Chain Cannon Havocs. Nice. They were the absolute hotness quite some time ago. Just found an Eradicator's head that looks like me. There's an Eradicator's head that looks like me. Awesome. Has it got a mohawk, beard and cigar? Because at that point, we're good. Coal Black is really good. Coal Black is what I would normally use to try this effect with, but because I know a lot of people have been trying to get hold of Tire Black and are just not finding it, I figured we'd give it a go with a GW paint. That is 2 blue. We need to darken that down, so we're going to add a little bit more Incubi, a little bit more black to this mix. Basically, what we're going to do is do like a cool blue-black on the tires and these other elements, because see as we've got yellow, that will really, really contrast with it, and you'll get this massive, massive colour shift, which is going to make them stand out really well. No, just face mask. Ah. That was terrible. That's better. Might go slightly too far now, but I'd rather that and then come back in for another pass. Maybe not. Maybe not. So working in from the top as before. We're just going to tilt this now and basically edge highlight a load of those towards the top. You see just on the inside of that rim we've got that highlight, but not down there. So just by making sure you're working at a really steep angle, you can get work like that done with an airbrush really easily. Don't be afraid of it. What you're doing is basically aiming at about this point. Yeah, so if I'm looking there, I'm aiming where my finger is, letting the overspray hit those areas. And you can use the same technique to do edge highlights with your airbrush. Why not, right? It's there, takes seconds. Just do it. Although the inner ring on that, I might end up doing steel. So let's just try and play that over on a slightly less steep angle, just to get a bit more at the bottom of that tyre. Probably going to go with some like chrome, I think, for all the metallics on this. Something really bright, a little bit of blue tone to it, again to help give us that separation from the yellow. We're also going to tie everything together a little bit more, because for things like the flux capacitor, is what we're going to call this. I have no idea what it is. The shock engine, that's going to be a lot of blue. So why not? Why not? Ichu, what up, bro? Plan to recesses like in Dark Angel's video. Nice, very nice. And Sergeant Rolf, Rival Crafts have literally the best stuff. Can't stress that enough. You just won't find basing material that's that good anywhere else. And believe me, I've been through them. We've gone through, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. Sarah's got some really exciting news that she currently can't share. That I know about from a couple of different sources, and it's literal proof that her stuff is the best. Alright, let's work up a little bit more of that Gravedigger denim now, and then we'll switch into some Administron Grey. Went from iPaint to GW to Gamer Grass after order some Railcraft soon. So I did basically the same, except I started out with just static grass and made my own. Frozen! How you doing? And went to Gamers Grass. That was what I considered the top echelon of tufts at the time, right? And they're good. They're really good. They're very dense. They're very thick. They've got lots of different lengths. They're absolutely brilliant. But Rival Crafts just are a little bit better in several respects, and they're based in the UK, and their customer service is fucking outstanding, to the point where I asked Sarah to come up with a bespoke color mix, and I've got it 2 days later. Cannot beat that. I'm telling you now, you cannot beat service like that. Alright, so this will be the last time that we do like a all over the surface highlight. The next highlight and the one after, we'll probably do two more. We'll start to just come to the edges. But we're looking at a tyre now that's got a lot more going on than just being black and highlighted up with a little bit of grey, which is how it is in the box art. And so got the spoke colour mix arrived today after asking an order on Sunday. Yeah, exactly. There you go. You just can't get service like that from anywhere else. It's mad. How I'm doing really well, dude. Doing really well. We did some filming earlier on today. If you've seen my Instagram pic that I put up earlier on advertising the stream tonight, we've done a lot of painting yellow. And if you watch the video that'll go up on YouTube on Friday, you'll see just how much painting yellow I did. So I'm also going to try something a little bit different with this video as well. So it's unusual in comparison to the rest of them. Hopefully it works. How's you? How's things? Thick come in different lengths and various colours. Jay talking about his grown-up toys. All technically true. It's basically grown-up accessories, though, I'd call that, rather than toys. Adult accessories, I think, is what we should go for that. Good try, though. Good try. Yeah, the Mohawk didn't get done. We only do that for special occasions, Viking, and when I'm paid to, so... We're not doing any of this at the front. We're going to do that in that chrome that I was talking about earlier on. Get that popping. All these missile tubes. So, the missile heads themselves, like the warheads, will probably be red. Give them a nice little pop. Now it's time to get this Administratum Grey on deck. Now, for those of you that haven't yet, exclamation point vote. We are giving away, well, we're raffling off to be exact. We're raffling off an army, an entire army, on our birthday stream, which is in a little over 6 weeks. I think it's like 7 weeks, maybe. Your chance to win an entire fully painted army. And depending on which list you choose, I think the points go anywhere from like high 500s to low 900s. So it could be a very large chunk of an army. In fact, I think the most expensive army points-wise is the Space Wolves, I think. But I'm not entirely sure. Now the results for this have surprised me slightly. Last time we looked, we had Sally's at the bottom, then Tau, then Sisters, then Doggos, and then Nids. That Sisters of Battle list has had some votes. That's coming in there strong in second place right now. 10 ahead of it, though, is the Tyranid Battalion. Like, close at the top. Close at the top. But Doggo's still a strong contender in third place. I feel that the Tau have been left the fuck out. Very much case of no, you're not allowed for the Tau. So you need to get some campaigning going on if you want the Tau to win. Sally's not doing too well either, with less than half the votes. Is it exactly half? 20, 40, 56. So half the votes of the Sisters list, less than half of the Tyranid list. Gumbelina, thank you very much for that. So there is room for all these three in at the top. Now, I've done a poll for this on Instagram. I know a few people have shared it to their stories. If you want one particular thing to win, then go and share my Instagram post to like those kind of groups on Facebook, on Instagram, you know, whatever. Go and get your little community involved in this vote as well. Get some campaigning going on. But I'm really excited about those Tyranids. Yeah. Mr. Enigma, it's going to be a raffle. We're going to be able to sell tickets off-site, so away from Twitch. And you'll basically buy raffle tickets. We have a list of prizes that'll be unlocked a little bit like stretch goals on a Kickstarter. So the more tickets we sell, the more prizes go in. So don't you worry. We've got things planned. Right, now add a little bit more flow through this. The addition of Administratum Grey can make things a little speckly. There we go. That has 5 non-dreadnought models. I mean, listen, man. It couldn't just be dreadnoughts. It could have been, but it couldn't really. Not really, really. So. Akuno! 19 months. Hot diggity damn. Cheers, brother. Gonna be knocking on the door of that 2-year award very soon. Hopefully we hit partner and can give you it. Master Mouse! What up, brother? Yeah, I'm doing well. And Typhus Nurgle coming in with a little raid as well. Dude, thank you very much. How are you? How was your stream? What were you up to today? And Nick, cheers to that host. Really appreciate that, brother. A little bit of a clog on here. Yeah, but it's only half the work of a normal model, so don't worry. Can't believe it took you so long to get the... I thought they came in boxes at 7. Alright, we're going to do 2 highlights, but I think this might be enough. Don't want these getting like really bright. By the time we put a brushed highlight on there as well, I think we're probably looking at that being like okay to finish on. But that's not bad. Mix of our black blue has done alright. So there you go. Inky by Darkness. Not as good as using Tire Black. If you can get it, get Tire Black. If you can't, which is basically the case right now, then here's a substitute. I'll give it a solid 8.5 out of 10 for replacing that. What's the date for the raffle? It'll be over the birthday stream weekend, mate. So the 24th and 25th of April. So plenty of time between now and then, bro. We're going to paint that army up in the entire weekend. We're not going to fail. And then away we go. That and many other things will be given away on that birthday weekend stream. Just going out on a limb and saying that's not the only army we might give away. Matt, how you doing, bro? Good to see you here. Glad you your travel was safe. All right, bang, wheels sorted. A little bit of scaffold, I guess. Roll cage sorted. And then the banana car, that bit's done too. Right, next up is going to be painting some metallics. Let's just give it a quick blast of the hairdryer so I don't smudge any wet paint. Get away from paint. So your night army, that'd be amazing. Like, no, not my night army. What fucking planet are you from? Yeah, I'm gonna give away my my award-winning World Championship Knights. Just don't want them anymore. Yeah, nah. That's taking wishful thinking to an entirely new level there, bro. Alright, got a little bit of overspray around there, but that's fine because all that area is going to be covered up with some weathering. this is the bit that I was really wanting to keep. Nice and clean and spot on. Look at that. Look at that beautiful fucking yellow though. Whew. Whew. Look at that blade. Last year doesn't count for anything, and I was world champion the year before. So by the time you actually win a game of 40k, I'll be world champion again. It's alright. My Deathlord's playing now. Mate, I don't even have a Deathlord army yet. It's all in boxes. So, I wish, right? Being antisocial helps. Strange that. Strange that. Right, so, there we go. That's our blue-black. Look at that fucking yellow, though. Oh, get in. And then by the time you've got these, like, attached, the big wheels, the fat ones go at the back. Like, a lot of really nice contrast with that armor bodywork. To make sure that happens, though, you have my custards. Well, yeah, I'd have shipped them to you by now, but you were like, actually, Jay, can you paint some dreadnoughts for me? I just really want dreadnoughts. Apparently, dreadnoughts are OP. I need my dreadnought fix. Can you do some? Yeah, sure, man. And then I imagine relatively soon afterwards it'll be like, oh, the Caladius tanks are still good. Brush Awakening, thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream. So if it makes you feel any better, mate, your custodes are undefeated. My horse giveaway. Oh dear, what have you done, Des? Because I bet you this is cut in exactly the wrong place. Yeah, you give away my award-winning World Championship night. How many more? Yeah, it's exactly what I expected. Right, let's do all these bits of metallic. So these, we want to get to a chrome finish. And so we're going to start off with something relatively dark and then work up with that Vallejo chrome airbrush paint. This is some good stuff. Does need to be like very, very, very agitated. So, much like most of the stream after listening to Danny's jokes, that agitated. So, got that going on. We're going to use some gunmetal, which we're almost out of. Can I get more come in? No, it just doesn't like. Okay. Fuck it, let's go with just the black actually and work up from there. Stream get to escape them, I don't. Well, that's perks of being his mate. That's just definitely on you, bro. So this is the black metallic from Vallejo. This stuff's really, really good as a base coat for metals. Really, really solid stuff. I'm going to put this on all of these areas. There are definitely some metallic areas here. You can see inside the cockpit and so on. There's some areas there we're going to want painted metallic. A lot of this want painted metallic. But this we'll do by hand. We're not going to start spraying it all in around here. We've got some scaffold and these chains. They'll be metallic as well as some of the elements up the front as well. So I'm going to base coat all of that in by hand in a bit. And that we will use gunmetal for rather than working up with this into chrome. Just because it's going to be a little easier to apply. And it goes on relatively well over the yellow as well, I hope. Just sorrow for those subjected to them in real life. Yeah, exactly, right? So you'll be able to see the shine of this much more than anything else. Basically, because we've got something that was undercoated black that we're painting with a black metallic, there's not going to be a lot that changes for you other than it suddenly becomes like magnificently glossy. So but it's a really, really nice dark metallic. Big fan. Right, the bottom of this is where these prongs are, so we must remember that. And away we go. And then just these two bits. So all I've done here to mount these to something without just using a big wodge of blue tack, just glued them to a few bits of plastic box section I had lying around. And because they're super glued on, they just snap off really, really easily when we need them to, closer to the time. Some of this you won't see as well because there's the armor plates, the yellow side armor. These two panels, they're going over there. So a lot of that will be hidden. I'm not massively fussed about it, but obviously I'm not going to just miss it out. You're saddened by them, yeah. It's alright, we're okay to be saddened by them, because eventually the sadness turns to hate, the hate turns to rage, and the rage leads to the dark side. And if watching Battlestar Galactica taught me anything, it's that the dark side normally kicks some serious ass and chops off a guy's hand. So then he can't type, right? And by that point he probably loses his girlfriend too. So right, I'm going to do a mix now between this black and some of that chrome and work that up. Perhaps he'll stop when he gets what he wants. No. Just no. No, he'll never stop the puns. He'll never ever stop the puns. Right, let's go with this. So this is crazy thin, but it is very, very powerful. So we've mixed this in less than 50% to the black that's in here, and we've done that just to darken this down a little so we can get a bit more of a transition going on, but it just absolutely like crushes it. Rosie Palmer and her 5 little friends, you mean? Or Fireside's one big girlfriend is his sister. Fucking hell. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Star Wars, the film about incestuous space wizards. But I have finally now finished watching season 1. Haven't started season 2 yet, but season 1 of The Mandalorian. It's good. It's good. I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. I've been watching it at lunch and when I have my dinner. Just put one episode on, have a break from painting while I eat, and then get back to it. I didn't know who it was that was playing The Mandalorian. And his voice was really getting to me. I'm like, I'm sure I know who that is. I'm positive I know who that is. It sounds like this guy. It sounds like this guy. It sounds like this guy. And I was like, oh, who the fuck is it? And then when I took the mask off, I'm like, it's him! Ah, oh, brilliant. Brilliant. It could have been any actor, but it could be a great one. I thought that guy was awesome in Narcos, actually. Big fan of that show. That was a fucking brilliant show. So, yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, enjoying it a lot. The only reason I'm watching it is because I've currently got Disney Plus, because we bought a month's worth of it to watch WandaVision, which we watched over the weekend. And Pedro is suave and homeless at the same time. Brilliant. Rebelson, is that right? Fair. I was hoping they taught him, like, space kung fu or whatever. Right, that's the bottom side. So, good liberal dusting of stuff from above. Hit all of those and start working up the majority of that. We're coming in from a bit of a zenithal on it, just to try and keep it at the highlights in the right place. So we should have some shadows from under there and much brighter from this side, as you can see. But a lot of this is going to get some, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be some pretty ghetto blue OSL. So I'm not too worried about that part. And the gun, obviously, super easy. Coming from about a 45-degree angle. And just blast all that. Job's a good one. Right, flash most of this out. Then we're going to go in with the pure chrome. Without spoiling, how was WandaVision? I really enjoyed it. Like, honestly, I thought it was brilliant. But I grew up watching a lot of the shows that it's based on, and so whenever you finish an episode, this isn't a spoiler because I won't explain why it happens, but each episode is based on a different old TV series, and so there's always like a guessing game as to, oh, what is this? Because they basically play the opening credits of that TV show, and the TV show is set in basically the same location in WandaVision as a TV show was in the past. So here's one that wasn't in it, like the Jetsons, for instance. If the Jetsons was one of them, then you'd have a like an intro that very heavily borrowed from the Jetsons theme tune, just with different words and so on and so on. I really liked it. I thought the ending was fine. I thought the acting was very good. Paul Bettany, obviously, plays Vision. Elizabeth Olsen plays Scarlet Witch, same as you'd expect. There's lots of stuff that happens in like the wider Marvel universe as a result. Yeah, I really liked it. I genuinely enjoyed it. If you didn't, cool, not for you. That's fine. But I hope they do more stuff like that. I don't necessarily mean exactly like WandaVision, i.e. in the same style and the same theme, or anything like that. But I really hope they do a lot more TV show things that are all going to help out and boost parts of the MCU. And I know there's 3 other series planned. Captain America and the Winter Soldier is one of them. And I'm really hoping that they keep going. Robertson, no, I disagree. I'm not going to talk about the ending because there's people here that haven't seen it, and we definitely won't like spoil it for them. But I thought the ending was fine. That, I wouldn't have changed anything about that. I think it was good. The upcoming Loki show, yeah. I think anything Tom Hiddleston does is just absolute fucking magic as well. Anyone here seen The Night Manager? Chris Yank, nice, dude. Nice. But The Night Manager was absolutely brilliant. It stars Tom Hiddleston and I can remember his name, the guy that plays House. Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry? Yeah, that was fucking brilliant. One of the best shows on TV. Fly. Do you watch all the end credits? Yes. Actually, no. It's like I didn't realise there's end credit scenes in between. Hugh Laurie, thank you. I always get him confused. Lord Gitface, thank you very much, dude. And yeah, I didn't realise there was an end credit scene in each episode. So I didn't realise that each episode would have like a sort of semi-spoiler for the next episode. Because I was kind of used to things like Netflix where it would autoplay, and for whatever reason, the Disney Plus like app on my girlfriend's TV wouldn't autoplay them. We'd end up going through the credits. They got to like credits in German before it would sort of move on. So every time one finished, we basically just queued up the next one, and then we found out there's after episode credits scenes. So. One to watch. It didn't matter. Each episode past 3 or so started to answer some of the questions the first 3 raised. Yeah. Yeah. I genuinely liked it. Yeah, Matter, I can't wait for that movie. I really hope they give her a good send-off because she kind of didn't get one in Endgame. Like in Endgame, you come out of the movie and you're like, Tony's dead. I love you 3000. And you forget that she's died in the film. You're like, oh. That's really cool, MC. I know Amazon do something similar as well. You know, like watch parties and so on. I think that's a very cool thing to do. But I'm not. Like when I watch a movie, I just sort of sit there quietly and watch a movie, and occasionally be like, "Yeah!" Oh, come on! There's no such thing as spoilers for Endgame, mate. Endgame was pre-lockdown. Taskmaster. So please don't tell me anything about Black Widow because I know nothing about the movie apart from now potentially that Taskmaster is in it. I don't watch credits for anything because I don't like having spoilers. But he was one of my favourite villains from the comic, Taskmaster. His power was that if so he was a mutant, if something happened that he saw, he could replicate it. He had photographic reflexes, was what they called it in the books, which is the dumbest sounding thing on the planet. Like that. That just sounds fucking weird. But basically, he could watch Captain America fight, and then he could fight exactly the same, using exactly the same moves as Captain America. So, you know, that's a pretty badass power in my book. Right, we've done all of the airbrush work, I think, for this evening. Now we're going to get some brush work going on. We've got quite a lot to do on this part of our Ork buggy. So we're going to carry on with the metallics, get all of this area blocked in. All of these are probably going to be black. It's similar way to this, but obviously didn't want to try and airbrush the sigils and so on. That would just end in disaster. And then hopefully we'll get time to get a couple of washes down on all our metals as well. So fingers crossed we can work through quite a lot of this today. Instant learning. Yeah, basically. But it's got to be physical stuff. I don't think it would work if someone sort of spoke Spanish in front of him. I don't think he'd learn Spanish. Excuse me. Right, let's go with... See if we're running out of... no, we're running out of that as well. Alright. Let's go with steel. That'll work fine. That should work fine. Let's get this down. So I really like this model. This is a fucking class model. Very fun. Didn't have the greatest time assembling it because some of the instructions weren't necessarily the best. But that was mostly this bloody buzzsaw thing, where they give you the numbers for all the parts, except the numbers are labeled wrongly. But this is a very, very cool mini. I'm using one of our older brushes for this. It's because there's lots of texture here and we're going to be kind of rough with it, and as long as I don't get too much on the yellow, we'll be fine. I also don't want to sit here spending 3 hours painting a set of buzzsaws, so basically going real tight around the edges and careful there, and sort of slap it on everything else. Yeah, for sure, man. Better power than Daredevil. His superpower has been able to see. His superpower is a lot more than that, though. Like, Daredevil's superpower isn't just I have like the ability to see without eyes. It's I have echolocation like a bat. I have an amazing sense of balance and smell and taste and so on that is superhuman by itself. Tootie Spruce, thank you for the host. So it's a lot more than that. Like, he's had a lot of training to really help hone his abilities, either through just his own training or like Stick or the League of Assassins. Not League of Assassins, that's Batman. The Hand, sorry. You know. Chaos Rhino is the same with track parts. Luckily, everyone knows how to build a Rhino. Yeah. Timmy! Take care, man. Sounds like you've had a tough day's work. You get some rest. And build more bikes tomorrow. God, you think it's bad now, mate. Wait till fucking lockdown finishes and everyone's like, I'm fat, I need a bike, I need to go and exercise, I need to ride a bike. And so you get everyone coming in demanding some fucking super off-roader bike that you'll need to put together. Rutang! Bro, thank you very much. 14 months. Madness, dude. Fucking madness. Thank you. Much appreciated, as always, bro. Looking good, by the way. Your Bobby G. It's nearly finished now, right? Saw him on your Instagram. It's Toe from Avatar. I have no idea what Avatar is. You don't mean the blue aliens, right? Just touch up on the gun and the base. Oh, no. You haven't done the text on the purity seal. You need to do that. You need to do that. Don't skimp out on me on the details, bro. Just some very thin, little brown lines, a little bit squiggly, mostly horizontal. It's easy. Get it done. Okay. I love how easy this stuff covers, even over a very vibrant color like yellow. I started at 7:30. We've got 43 bikes this week and 20 of them are for tomorrow. Take care, bro. Nice to you. Hey, I really liked the Avatar. Oh, wait, you mean the little bald kid live action movie. Oh. I don't think I've seen it. I think I've seen it advertised on Netflix or whatever, but I then probably thought, yeah, I haven't watched the cartoon, so I probably won't understand anything that's going on. So I decided not to bother. But Avatar, the James Cameron film, I loved that. Like, that was absolutely fantastic. That was the first thing I ever saw in 3D. And I literally left the movie theater thinking that I'd seen actual magic happen. But that movie is crazily good in 3D. Certainly for its time, was unbelievably good in 3D. But in 2D, when you've just got the story to back it up, and Sam Worthington III's somewhat wooden acting, it's a bit of a hard sell. Looking forward to the sequels. The Blue Avatar movies, like, they've been talking about Avatar 2 for, I want to say, maybe even 10 years. It's time to shit or get off the pot, right? Like, when's it going to happen? Right. It'd be cool to watch, definitely. I'm certainly dying for it. I imagine it'll be just as exciting and blockbustery as the first one. And the guy that plays the Marine, the crazy bad guy dude, he's fucking cool in it as well. I love that guy in the first film. He was a badass. Could I make you 3 at once? Really? Fucking hell, what? Just to one-up the Matrix? Oh, I suppose Lord of the Rings did it as well, didn't they? Let's see. Lord of the Rings did 3 films at once. Matrix did 2 films at once. All of the things that they did at once were terrible. That's right. Not a big Lord of the Rings fan. Hopefully this is just good. Wasn't it supposed to be focusing on underwater? Okay. Who knows, bro? They just did, didn't they? That was 2. Yeah. Or was it? I think one was mostly after the other one. I know they did some bits at the same time, but Endgame was filmed mostly after, I want to say. Yes, Matter, and Back to the Future 3 was terrible. Back to the Future 2, really good. Back to the Future 3 I thought was a bit cheesy, even as a child. Yeah, it wasn't a thing. Akuno, incredibly strong disagree. Like, I've seen Endgame probably 10 times, and I love it. I can just sit there and watch it as well. I don't need to be sitting there with a book or something else to be able to watch it. In the background, I can just sit there and watch the film. I fucking love it. Absolutely love it. The new Spider-Man films, yeah, they're good. If I'm honest, I actually liked the Tobey Maguire ones back in the day, but they don't hold water for very long. They're not good. I quite liked the other dude that played it in The Amazing Spider-Man. I thought he was an okay Spider-Man, and I thought Jamie Foxx could have been great as Electro, but unfortunately that was a bit terrible. Andrew Garfield, yes. I thought he was good. Eddie Brock, sorry, not Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy playing Eddie Brock as Venom. I thought it was okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not in the same league. But then it's also not in the same league as the last Fantastic Four movie, which was the shittest film. Shittest film. So bad. Oh. Akuno, you are clearly deranged. Like, absolutely not. Like the whole like Green Goblin storyline, which they did get right as far as the comic books go, so that's fine. And the whole like Harry's really pissed off at him and so on in the second one, but just oh god, no, that was basically the twilight of superhero films for me. Full of nothing but like angst and looking at each other. It was just a bad film. Just a bad film. And you can keep your own order. That's fine. It is wrong, but Blade. I actually liked Blade 2. Blade 1 wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but I actually liked Blade 2. I'm a big Wesley Snipes fan. I grew up watching a lot of his movies, so I can sort of deal with the Wesley Snipes cheese factor and be okay with it. Blade 3 was okay. Like, I didn't like Ryan Reynolds' character in it back then, although now I've seen him in a lot of other stuff, and you kind of learn to love Ryan Reynolds a bit. You appreciate his character a lot more. Also, the insult, "you cum guzzling thunder cunt," is a brilliant one. Except for a long time, I thought it was cum juggling, and I couldn't work out how that worked. It's going to get really messy really fast. Cock juggling, that's it. Yeah, there we go. Demolition Man is amazing. Demolition Man is absolutely one of my favourite films ever. Love it. What appears to be your boggle? How much do you weigh? Fact it was supposed to be in high school in the first movie. Looks he's a kid in the same school. Well, yeah, but I stuff like that I can kind of get around. I'd rather they took an actor that was slightly older than they were meant to be and tried to make them look younger than took a young actor just because they were younger who wasn't necessarily a good actor. Much rather that. Jay, you instill joy feelings in everyone in this chat, apart from Akuno, who frankly is completely wrong. Nick Cage's Ghost Rider was fucking awful. If they're going to put Ghost Rider in anything, it needs to be the Ghost Rider from Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is at least in the same universe. That one was a really good Ghost Rider. Whereas Nick Cage was really trying to relive his face-off days of, I want to take his face off. Right. You're on drugs. Still can't work out those 3 seashells. Yeah, if anyone ever works out the 3 seashells, I'd love to know. I don't need pictures. Just the story is good enough, thanks. All I can think of is like scrapers. That does not sound comfortable. Oh, so what we're going to do, mate, is we're going to get these 3 seashells and you're going to scrape the shit out of your ass crack. And then just give him a switch swill out and somebody else does it. But yeah, Demolition Man, super cool film. I know there's another one coming out. Don't know when. And I hope it'll be good. I hope it'll be good. Oh, that bit should probably be. No, we'll leave it for now. We'll work it out in a bit. Red 3. Ooh. Really? No. Hard pass on that. Like, I liked Red, the first film. Red 2, my ex-wife absolutely loved that film. She watched the shit out of that. I could not get behind it. That was just... That looks like it's just they've ripped a hole in this. We'll leave that yellow. That's been fitted nicely. Or they've stolen that off of an Audi. Squeeze-ow! Cheers, dude. 8 months. 8 months, you badass. You absolute badass. Thank you very much for that. I've seen some of this deepfake thing because I think Mikey had somebody do it to him. Yeah, that's not open to abuse at all, right? Expendables 4. So, see what you like about these Expendables films? They're fucking terrible. But I will watch them all day, every day. I have no issue with it whatsoever. Because I'm aware that the film's terrible. I know it's terrible. I know going into the movie that I'm going to watch a really, really shit film. But I also know that I'm not going to care at all. It's going to be me watching Bruce Willis, Van Damme, Arnie, and Sly all together, having fun, and that's enough. That is enough for me. I'm totally happy with that. Like, the fact that Chuck Norris is in one of them and makes a Chuck Norris joke in that film, that's already great. That's already great. Jason Statham being a badass. That'll do too. Happy with that. I only agree with your film reviews if I want a fun film like Transformers, but don't agree with your opinion on the new RoboCop. That's fine. But I basically put all action movies in like the fun film category. There are very few action movies I don't think I've ever seen that I could describe as like properly serious films. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head. So if anyone's got an action movie they've seen that's a serious film, I don't mean like Schindler's List is a very serious film with a little bit of action in it here and there. That's not an action movie, but that's a very serious film. I don't think that action movies often fall into that category. Hunt for Red October. No, I can't back you on that one, mate. Only because you have this Russian submarine captain from Ayrshire. Well known for their Russian accents, the folk of Ayrshire. And that's just a straight, like, can't take this seriously moment. I guess war films are like the one that is an action film that can be a serious film. So yeah, maybe like if you take the war film subgenre, yeah, happy with that. And whoever said that RoboCop 3 was one of the greatest films ever is allowed to leave the chat and never come back. I will fully support that banning. Man on Fire. Man on Fire is a fucking great film. Yes. Good one. Good one. As far as I'm concerned, there is no RoboCop 3. I have said on stream many times now that if I ever invented a time machine, the very first thing I'd do before going back in time and like adjusting World War II or investing in like Microsoft or whatever, because clearly I'm going to use my powers for good, right? Is I'd go back and stop myself from watching RoboCop 3. I don't care if they make it, it's just I don't want to have seen it. So, The Hurt Locker is a great film. That came out during the time that I was training for the army. I was going to go into the army as an ammunition technician and train to become an ammunition technical officer, which is what the UK call our bomb disposal guys. It's an ATO. And that film came out at the time, and my mates sat me down and were like, look, you need to watch this. This is what you're good enough to do. And so you need to watch this. I'm like, all right, cool, let's give it a shot. And I watched it, and I'm like, to be fair, some of that is really fucked up. But it's a film, and so it's not going to be exactly like that in real life. There's going to be parts of it that are going to be very close to that. But I'd already read a couple of first-hand accounts of EOD guys, and the number of times it comes down to red wire or blue wire is very, very small. Normally it's the robot goes in and does the job. Although I read this one book by a guy who was a major, and there was a point he was under a bridge on a boat, like a little just a little two-person rowing boat, basically. And he has to do it this way because the explosive is on the bottom of the bridge, so the robot can't get to it. So, cleverly done, Mr. Taliban. So he's on this boat. He's got one guy sort of holding the boat in place with some ropes on like either bank and just sort of holding the rope so that the boat stays still. But obviously he's just doing this a little bit in the water. And directly above him is this device, and it's C4. Which means that he knows if he gets it wrong, he'll never know. Because that explodes faster than his nerve endings transmit information. And so he's like, well, he obviously lived, he wrote the book, but I figured that if you end up in a situation like that where you just never know, alright, that's fine. I got all my bomb disposal expertise from Nick Cage in The Rock. Brilliant. That was a great film. Welcome to The Rock. At least in that film, Connery played someone that was SAS. He could definitely have been from Scotland. You're best. You're best. Losers always whine about doing their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Carla was the prom queen. Nightmare! How you doing, bro? We're basically talking movies, I think, tonight. I'm doing bad quotes from them. That's not unusual, though. That's relatively common. I'm not too fussed about getting this like really smooth or anything like that, because one, I'm going to chuck a load of weathering pigment in this, and two, you're not going to see it. This is where we're using an older brush and we're just kind of chucking the paint in there any which way. As long as we've got okay coverage, the wash will solve a lot of our other problems, and the powders will solve the rest. Excuse me. Glad you can paint because your Connery is shocking. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Nice, Chris. Nice. What have you got? What's your list? The only weird part about The Rock was the fact that Dr. Cox from Scrubs was playing one of the Marines. Yes, absolutely. I loved that, though. He did lots of movies like that where he was like the extra. So, for Redemptor legs, arms, and old dread body-ish. It's going to look really tall. I wouldn't. I like the Redemptor. I think once you've... Have you ever used one or painted one or modelled one before? Because I think once you've got that in your hands, you're going to have a slightly different opinion of it. Because it's a really nice kit. All of the Marine Dreadnoughts is. All the Marine Dreadnoughts is. All the Marine Dreadnoughts are. Even the Invicta is, which isn't really a Dreadnought. They're just really good kits. They're super posable. As long as you're not getting easy to build one. But, like, don't. Please don't. But yeah, they're really cool. Can 100% like back those guys. Just don't, and do yourself a favor. Just don't try and do it in a running position, because it's impossible. They always look like they're tripping over. Because, and I feel this is correct, something of that size and that upper bulk probably doesn't run. It might move its legs quickly, but running... So the definition of running is moving under your own speed on feet, where both legs leave the floor for a point. Like, it could be a tiny amount of time, but you're in the air at some point. That's running. Kathleen Slaplin with a jump pack. Priest, 2 times 5 assault intercessors, 5 intercessors, 10 Death Company, 8 Sang, 8 Vang Vets, Death Company Dread, because fucking awesome, Sang Ancient, 3 Suppressors, 4 Inceptors-ish. Nice. For your Vanguard vets, what are you arming them with? Because the current, like, in vogue way of doing it, which I agree with, I think it's just fine, is single Lightning Claw and Storm Shield. Yeah, exactly that. However, I would suggest that because it is the absolute, like, default option, you'll almost never see Vanguard vets with something else. That in Chapter Approved, which I believe is due out in about 3 months, that will probably get changed. I'd mag the shield as well, if I'm honest, bro. I really would. It's going to make it easy to paint as well, which obviously is... I know you're doing a speed paint on these, but I think that's definitely... the way to go. That's fine, they're going to be red. Because it wasn't in the black, though. No worries, dude. Jaeger, you take care, man. Get some rest. Got all the tired mods today. There is an actual flux capacitor. Holy shit. Also, how have I not noticed that yet? And this part's going to be silver. There's an actual flux capacitor right there. Any tips to the arms? Do you mean like after you've magnetized everything? Saragon! Cheers, dude. 8 months now. Got a lot of you in that 8-month bracket. It's really nice watching like all of you guys sort of, I was about to say grow old together, but that's just weird. But hopefully you guys know what I meant. In terms of like painting the stuff that you've magnetized, let's see. One of the best ways to do it is make yourself up something like this. So this is just a piece of plastic rod, yeah, with a magnet on the end and some blue tack. And the blue tack isn't there to glue something to. The magnet is what's going to do that. The blue tack stops it from twisting. So that goes on like your whatever you magnetize. Your shield goes on there. Obviously it's magnetized at the wrist. The blue tack stops it from turning. So when you've got the airbrush on there, it stops it from like spinning around. And I just glue that essentially to my camera rig, as you can see from the wall. So was all over community when it dropped. What was all over community when it dropped? Yeah, but I'd probably get like 3 or 4 of those made up, or maybe even like half a dozen. Go a lot further on it, because what you don't want to have to do, especially during a speed paint, is get all that lot like done one at a time. Hair dryer to dry it down quickly, so you can take that one off and put the next one on. Just do like 5, and then by the time you've got to the 5th one, that you can just swap that one out for the next one, paint that, then the next one, and the next one, and then the next one. Speed painting king, perhaps not, but we obviously do a lot where we're trying to be super efficient. Like any commission painter has to like find their middle ground between efficiency and quality, and mine is always pushed up towards the quality side of things for commissions. But for the stuff that I do for myself, like the long streams, that nozzle's like wound all the way back the other way. So what storm shields to use? Well, you only need 8. The Deathwatch ones I always think are too big, but people use them all the time. And they just look out of place. I'd probably just still use the regular marine ones. They look derpy as fuck, but they still fit the model. Custodes ones are way too big for a normal marine, I think. Just because I don't think the marine looks like it's able to fight properly whilst it's also holding that. Especially if the thing it's fighting with is a lightning claw, which is going to be all about movement, right? So I'd just go with the normal square boxy marine one and call it okay. Yeah, I remember you did that with your Lich Guard. They look cool. I quite like the long shields on them. And when I get some, which we'll end up painting on like the 3rd Necronathon, after we finish the 2nd one, then I will leave them as the long shields, because I actually like that. I like the fact it's like a big tower shield. I can just imagine a full-on phalanx of like an actual proper phalanx with just the shield down and the sword ready to go. So the Terminator ones are basically the same, right? The old school Thunderhammer Terminator ones with the basically in the shape of a cross. It's practically the same thing, but you've got a different hand that's holding the shield. And if you care about that a lot, then it's a lot of work to fix. If you don't, and I can imagine there's quite a lot of people out there that don't, then go ham, go nuts. Shield wall. Full on shield wall. How many chronothons overall? I don't know. So far I've got 4 planned. Which might be news to a lot of people. But the Chronothon 2, we're going to finish off at the end of the month. We're not going to do 17-hour days. I really hope we're not going to do 17-hour days, put it that way. But we need to get all of the edge highlighting done. And all of the bases done if I can. That would be ideal. So by doing the bases, what I mean is we've got a load of pigments to get down. And I'd really, really, really like it if we can get that all in one stream. But Malseer, I really, really like their flame red. I use that on my Necrons. Their turquoise is fucking beautiful. I use that on things like power swords quite frequently. They do a fluorescent orange, which was really cool. Lemon yellow I used for all my plague bearers. There's a lot, mate. That just pick some colours that you really like. So, but certainly the turquoise is a banger, and flame red is so fucking powerful. The red we did on Magnus, the red that's in the How to Paint the Reddest Red video, that's using flame red. And you won't get a more red than that. Like the Blood Angels are a very, very nice red. So here's like the Outrider, yeah? Like that's a really, really nice red. Except it's not, because that is just about orange. It just about identifies orange. And that is almost brown. It just about identifies as brown. Whereas if you do it in the same way as the Reddest Red video, how he showed you how to do it on there, what you end up with is something that is absolutely red all the way through, but still has highlight, still has shadow. It's a really good way of doing it. So if you're a Patreon member, !point Patreon. If not, maybe go check that out. 384. Fuck. Want to throw me a link? Oil paints work wonders. It's a big leap in my painting. Thanks to you. Hey, man, they are. There's definitely a time and a place for them. A lot of people went mad using oil paints to fully paint miniatures, so start to finish, just oils, and they are good for some things. And I don't think small scale miniatures is what they're good at. Not for an all-over paint. If you're painting like a big old dragon or something, yeah, knock yourself out. If you're painting a bust or something that's quite stylized, yeah, knock yourself out. If you're painting a space marine, don't do it, bro. So I've thinned this paint down, and we're still getting pretty goddamn good coverage over the yellow. This is the steel from Vallejo Model Air Metallic. I like this a lot. Oils are amazing for washes. So Siamat is talking about one of the How to Paint Marine videos I did, How to Paint Dark Angels, where we used the oil paint to quickly wash the recesses of a fuckload of Marines. And in the guide, I'm just using it on one Marine, but it was for a commission, and the commission was, I'm going to say 40 Dark Angels Marines, plus things like Ravenwing, ATVs, some Impulsors, some Flyers, a couple of characters, and we used the oil washes on the recesses on everything, with the exception of the Chaplain on bike. Everything. And they're so good. They're so quick. You know. Cold Touch, I know a lot of people that only paint with glazes. because that's how they like to paint. It's not a usual thing, but they'll like sketch a value layer and then they'll just glaze over the top, so they're getting the benefit of light and shadow put down beforehand, and the glazes are just allowing that to come through. In fact, Chris paints quite a lot with glazes, so it's definitely a thing. And my Deathwatch are not going to be black, so my Deathwatch army is not going to look like a Deathwatch army. Instead of being the traditional black with everyone being from a different chapter, it's going to be a dark but vivid blue. There's going to be areas of bone. I'm thinking knee pads on possibly both knees, but certainly on one knee. Possibly on everybody, maybe just on sergeants and so on. We're going to do bone stripes on the helmets. So what I'm thinking is cutting in down here a stripe and then putting in a logo for rank here. So a little bit like the Astartes Marines, the Retributors, I want to say. A little bit like how they've got their little chevron in the middle of their head. Want to do it like that, but that'll be blue on a field of bone where everything else is then blue. Because I think that's a really good way of adding a lot of detail, a lot of interest to a Marine without having to go too far. We're going to do the arm, the metallic arm. I think it's their left arm, which is the metallic one. That's going to be really, really dark metallic grey. And that will help push the bone and help push the blue up in terms of their own vibrancy. So yeah, the entire army, the theme is that they are under inquisitorial mandate, hence this arm, the inquisitorial symbol on the Deathwatch arms, and that they're all now one chapter. Think of it a little bit like Minotaurs, where they're like sworn to a High Lord of Terror, like a private army kind of thing. Timescale for the army. Well, I was going to start it at the end of this month, actually. And what I'm going to do, the last weekend of every month, between now and tournament starting back up, because that, we're all very much hoping that end of July, where I've got a tournament booked at Glasshammer, we're off to tournaments again. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be amazing to finally go to a GT again? The last GT I went to was... Actually, it was No Retreat, where we came second. So it wasn't actually that long ago, but fuck me, does it feel like a long time ago. But other than that, the last GT I went to would have been... Glasshammer. Actually, that was the last one. Dark teal, red for the troops, dark red for Death Company, and silver for Sandguard. Nice. Because of Solomon Locke. I don't know which one I'd use. I would love Eisenhorn, except fine crap, and so just not. So we'll probably convert an Inquisitor quite heavily, get some custom parts made, or even like go full water boy and get one custom made. Like, I know Baz would quite happily do a sculpt with me, so in fact we talked about it last time he was in stream, maybe doing a collaboration at some point. Looking forward to the Games Expo. Hope that end of July date isn't too... Yeah. Good luck. Oh, mate, he's a fantastic model. It's just... I refuse to buy Finecast. And anyone that commissions me to do a Finecast miniature, I flat out tell them, like, if you really want me to do this, it's going to cost you an extra, like, 150, 200 quid, because it's Finecast and I fucking hate it. So... it's just the worst thing to paint. I think I'd rather paint something made out of my own shit than paint a Finecast Mini. Not anyone else's, I wouldn't think that far, but Finecast is just so much no. Yeah, I'm working with Barry on the 40 out of 40k army. So he's doing a custom deceiver we showed off on stream. He was happy enough for us to show that off at the weekend. It's sexy. It's real sexy. That guy can sculpt. Got a box of all commandos, including a plastic note, Finecast. You should throw them out, yeah. I've got a good stand-in for a Nightbringer, but I am looking. Oh my god, that is fucking sick. Total height 90mm. He's a little bit too short. I have to just upscale him. Fuck me, dude. Look at that! Just amazing work. Where is that? Why is there no bigger picture? That's pretty fucking solid, though. Now, what we're going to do for our other Catan, because this is why there are 4 Necronathons. Hey, Des! Try gifts up to Jake's 2 pence. Jake, you're going to get some meeps. And you are also going to be eligible now for our giveaways towards the end of the month. And you're on 2 every single month. And actually 3, technically speaking. But yeah, it's a cool thing. Exclamation point mystery and exclamation point win to find out more information. There are some meeps for you. Shipping to UK because Brexit. Well, yeah, meh. But yes, there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can use as a Catan, and I am going to get somewhere in the region of 3. I want to do like elementals, like fire elemental, frost elemental, Tyrant Red 203. Cheers for the follow. And do some Catan based off of that, and then we'll do one of the Necronathon streams will be where we just paint 3 really weird looking Catan to use as Transcendent Catan, because there's a very cool Necron list doing the rounds at the moment, which will probably be nerfed. But it's a semi-competitive way of playing Necrons. I won't say fully competitive, but it's a semi-competitive way of playing Necrons right now. That is running 3 Transcendent Catan, and then Psychomancer normally for some extra mortal wounds, and then a couple of like block units to sort of hold objectives. You take Relentless Expansionists, Eternal Conquerors, whatever the things are called, and a lot of Wraiths and Scarabs, and you throw objective secured Wraiths at your opponent. Use those to screen out your Catan so that they can't be smited to death more than anything else. I know they can still be targeted. Your Catan take a couple of wounds a turn, and then they hide when they need to, get some living metal going on. You can make them last a lot longer than people think. And by doing that, you will output anywhere between, say, 20 and 30 mortal wounds a turn when everything's in position. 20 to 30 mortal wounds a turn. Oh, I've got Death Guard! Hey, we're great! Oh, fuck off! Fuck off! Right. Hell no. I find watching people I paint is more fun too. Awesome, dude. Warsinger Catan, though. I haven't seen it. I've seen the one that Creature Cast to do. That's really cool. What's Taro's like? I really don't like it. I'll tell you why. So it's very nicely painted. It's a lovely paint job, very moody and everything else. And I really like what Taro does because I've got some of his night parts. But it just looks like it's floating midair, taking a shit. It's like, plish. I can't unsee that. Speaking of mystery box, did you want to show off the first choice again? Yeah, why not, dude? So, one of what will be 3. Got a poll going up probably tomorrow. What would be one of 3 miniatures to give away, one of which you won't know the identity of, is this, Sergeant Ripper Jackson. So this is in the giveaway. So one lucky subscriber or a Patreon video viewer or higher member could be in with a chance of winning this. The Patreon draw, we've now changed to the first stream of every month. So it's good. But that's up for grabs. And apparently, that mini's now very expensive on eBay, so it's a solid price. Solid price. In the 20 Reaper squad with Chronomancer with Artifact of Darkness, quite common with Necrons at the moment. Chronomancers and Blobs of 20 Warriors have been common literally since the Codex dropped. Because they're just really good. Like my current Necron list that I will be running once I finish the Silent King is the Silent King 60 Warriors, because I don't like Ghost Arcs, and normally to take 40 you end up with at least 1 Ghost Arc, and I'm never painting on those fucking awful things again if I can help it. And I like having the tide of Warriors, because I've gone from playing Knights competitively, which we've podiumed a great many tournaments. You know, we won the ITC's Knights division, not last year, but the year before. We've done a lot with Knights. We've done some really cool shit with Knights. I still want to play my Knights, but I'd like an army to play here and there that is completely different. And so having this horde of models that have all got OBSEC, that are all really irritating, is a completely different playstyle, and I'm really looking forward to it. Deck Flow! Bro. How are you doing? How is your stream? Get some love and some follows in the chat. If you guys don't already, please consider giving this guy a follow. I think he's a super cool dude. But how's your stream? I can commission you to paint mine. You can if you like. I'll do yours for you, Chris. We'll discuss costs off air, because the people in the chat don't need to see that many zeros in one spot, right? Thank you very much, Austral Forgefo, for the follow. Always fun. I'm glad, bro. Expocom, thank you as well. Fish the Lord of Change and Magnus. Oh, dude! A Lord of Change and Magnus got finished. Mate, that's some epic level stuff. We need to see that in the whip later on. If you've got pics, please let me see. That sounds like a hell of a stream you just did. How do you get to tournaments when lockdown's over? Play Chaos Knight, Space Wolves, and Deathwing. Nice, dude. Nice. Whereabouts are you based? As soon as we get confirmation that lockdown is over and we can start running tournaments, I will start running tournaments again. So my local Atlantic Games, we were running a RTT pre-lockdown up to 16 men, 8 tables, no issue. We'd love to get to GT level, but we need more tables, we need more scenery, and so that's going to be partially funded by obviously ticket sales. But I'd love to be able to start running GTs at my local. A 2-day event. Maybe even as often as every month. Without travel time. Fucking great. Scotland. Nice. There's a guy, he's very, very rarely in the stream now. Craig the Celt, who is setting up a place in Scotland, or was before lockdown became such the terrible beast that it was, that is 100% geared towards competitive play and competitive players. Maybe shoot him a message on Twitch. I don't know how often he logs in, or if you part of our Discord as well. He's on there. I don't think he's very active, but he was one of my students. He's had a lot of shit come through because of lockdown and because his usual business is running a gym. He's a powerlifter, a competitive powerlifter. So you can imagine how that is right now. That's one scene that's going to be fucking barren and desolate, right? So, happy to donate scenery from the Imperial magazine. I won't have much use for it all. Dude, that's very nice of you. Like, the few issues of that I'm tempted to pick up are the ones with scenery. We'll pick up some of the Marine stuff. We'll pick up some of the Necron stuff. I want to get issue 5 with the limited edition, dude. Give that away. That'd be cool. But I'm not going to subscribe to it. I thought I would. And then basically I own 7,500 points of Necrons and nearly all painted. And I don't need much more. There's a few units that I want to get. So the magazines they have that do Wraiths, I will pick up several of those. Like several. The Catacomb Command Barge, I've only got one of those, so we'll pick up another couple. And if I'm honest, if that's one issue for that, I'll pick up 5. I'll run 3 Annihilation Barges and 3 Catacomb Command Barges. And I won't bother magnetizing them. I'll just paint them. I've got one that's fully magnetized now. You can swap it in for any of the configurations that it needs. But if they're £8 a piece, fuck it, it's fine. I really appreciate it, Jake. That's really, really, really sweet of you. Which I thought was a new Bellicor model. Gigantic hobby boner. Raging clue. So good. So good. What's not to like about that mini? Anyone that says they don't like that model is a hipster. They only say they don't like it because everyone else likes it. And I bet they've got a flannel shirt, and I bet they love Crocs. But it's a fucking beautiful mini. There's a load of people already power whining on forums about how he's too big, you can't hide him, he's going to get completely shot to death by AdMech / whatever. In fact, there's somebody in a Facebook group chat that I'm in that is allegedly quite the competitive player in Sweden. And so I take some of what he says on board and, like, you know, might go away and think about it and treat it with a pinch of salt. But sure, if you're as good as you're meant to be, then perhaps you do know something I don't, so I'll consider your opinions. And as soon as they announced the model, his literal sentence was, and this might not be verbatim, but as close to it as possible, unless that model has got -1 to hit and a 4-pin vulnerable save and a 6-up feel no pain, to get shot off the table. Trista Bites! Absolute superstar. Thank you very much. That's a big old raid. That's a big old raid. Let's get some love in the stream for Trista and their raid. I don't think I follow you. Let me give you a follow. How is your stream? What were you working on today? No, I do follow you. Fantastic. You do improv comedy? No way. I need to watch more. more of your streams. Definitely. Puttycad, thank you for the follow. Who we got? We got Mega Hurty, Bazbit2. Sorry, Brazbit2. NeoZed. Who else we got? Say hi if you just come in. You're all welcome. So my name's Jay. I run a commission painting business called Mohawk Miniatures, and we're currently painting up one of the prizes we gave away last month. This went to one of my Patreon video viewer members, and as you see, it's a fucking lovely yellow. We're going to put up a guide on YouTube on Friday about how to paint this yellow. This yellow is about halfway done. We've still got some washes to do and some highlights to do, but otherwise that yellow is on point. What we're doing today is we're just blocking in all the other details. So we've airbrushed a little bit of the black that's on here, the wheels, we've airbrushed a little metallics. Now we're just painting the metallics on things like this just to get them out of the way, and we can do some real painting soon, hopefully. But we've probably got only about 15 minutes or so before we go into our stream's work in progress gallery. So, I know you've been playing Chrono Trigger, which I've never heard of, so I'm going to assume it's a very cool game, because I tend not to have much time to play video games. Wait, I have heard of that. Isn't it like gun sword fighting? Wait for it to be completely not gun sword fighting, but I'm thinking like equilibrium kind of fighting. The snares. Oh god. Oh god. I have heard of that. That's old. Awesome. Very nice. So yeah, if you'd like to show off anything you've been painting, if you've been painting today, then come and join the Discord, !whip. Pop in there, upload a couple of pics, 3 or less, of something you've been painting, and we'll go through it as a community shortly. Fucking hell, I do remember that game. I don't think I ever played it. I didn't have a SNES. My cousin had a SNES, and one of my neighbours had a SNES. I spent the vast majority of my time playing Killer Instinct Gold. I loved that game. That was an epic game. If it wasn't Mario Kart, it was Killer Instinct Gold. Hard Target! Cheers for that follow. I used to play 40k tons, but I never had skills to paint my models like you. Hey, Manus. What we do here predominantly is teach. Sometimes what not to do. Some of my stories. Dark Winds, cheers for the follow. Some of my stories are very much a cautionary tale. And therefore are things that no one should do. Brazbits, cheers. Not played 40k since a teen, still love it. I love the universe. It never leaves you. Like, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. It's the Hotel California lyrics, but they kind of sum up the game quite a lot. Like, I've had times into and out of Warhammer where we've like completely gone off the hobby for whatever reason for a couple of years, and then come back to it. Twice now in my life that's happened, and now we've gone from this being a hobby, which it's been for many years now, to being a full-time job. So I'm a full-time commission painter, Twitch and YouTube content creator, and Patreon, I guess. You know. So yeah, I absolutely love the fucking toy soldiers. Trista, I had lead minis. That's how we started off in the hobby, was playing with lead toy soldiers. Probably shortened my life by a fair amount of time. So, you can't be taught. I disagree. I think I could teach anybody anything as long as I can find a reference point for it. As part of my Patreon, I run private tuition, and we've been full since it opened. I'm going to open one more slot next month. I was going to do it this month, but things happened and got out of the way. So will be one more slot opening up next month. And we've had students that have had literally no sort of finesse when it comes to painting. They do block colours on minis and that's it. I've had students go from that to painting something that you wouldn't be too far away from seeing in a magazine. So it's like everything else in life, yeah? It just comes down to normally just knowing one extra thing that you didn't know before. And then a little bit of hard work and some encouragement, and that's it. Right. So, Jake's 2 pence, just don't judge my sprue usage. I can't promise, bro. That's too open for things to go very wrong for me to say, sure, I won't judge you. Could be anything, that man. Used to make a lot of model plane kits, model train building, etc. 40k stuff was just so much more expensive. It still is. It still is. So I've never painted blindfolded. I did assemble my airbrush blindfolded. I made a bet I could do it in 30 seconds, and for every second that I was over, I would donate £1 to charity during a charity fundraising stream we did. And all I can say is 30 seconds is actually very, very short amount of time. And Calm received £45 from me. Damn. But we did completely assemble our airbrush blindfolded, which I still feel is impressive enough. But yeah, like I said, all painting comes down to just knowing one extra thing. Like I've said this quite a lot of times. I have no talent for this. Like absolutely no talent for painting. What I have though is a skill for it. I've spent a long time learning, and a great many hours sat with a brush in my hand or an airbrush in my hand, trying to work out why something doesn't look as good as I wanted it to. And that's the entire reason that we have this stream. It's so that I can get people to not have to go through the many hours of this is shit and I hate it and I don't know why. Because I can coach them through it. Because when I started painting back in the very, very early 90s, there was nobody to tell you how to paint. And even if you found someone that could paint, it'd be like a test at school. They'd be like this, painting away. If you look over there, like, it's absolutely no way you can get any information out of them. Fast forward 30 years, you know, and we're in this magical place where there are communities built around miniature painting, where people can sort of jump in and get some help, get some assistance, and the hobby's never been in a better place than it is now. Like I said, I've had some breaks from playing toys and so on for a couple of years at a time, but in the last, I started playing when I was 8, I'm 38 now, so in the last 30 years I've had 10 years off in total, 2 5-year-ish breaks. And they were well used. One of them was when I was about 16 when I discovered what girls and beer were. And one of them was in my mid-20s after university, where I went off travelling and did a few other bits and pieces. But it's something that you can keep coming back to, but it took a lot of that time to get to the point where I felt I was a proficient painter. I'm lucky enough now, I've won awards for painting regularly, if I can be so sort of big-headed about it. And it's not because I have a natural talent for a brush, but it's because I spent 20 years doing this. So I can give you guys some shortcuts. That's why we do what we do. If you want to see some work of that in action, exclamation point YouTube, go and check that out. Also, for those of you that did join the raid, but are into 40k, exclamation point vote. I am regularly big-headed about it, you're right. You're right. There's no point in hiding that. I am who I am. It's not big-headedness, it's just arrogance. Shortcuts, not paint the roots. No. Doing all of the spikes in silver, but I'm keeping these, the mounts, in like tire black grey. But I do all of those with a better brush than this one. So, you am what you am. Yeah, something like that at least. But yeah, we're gonna do all the spiked silver, but we'll do the joins into the tire in like the rubber sort of tire color. But I'm not doing that with the busted ass brush that we're using at the moment, that we're just sort of slapping silver paint about with. We'll use a proper brush for that. Go vote for Wolves. Could do anything. It's a nice rubber black you got on those tyres. Thank you very much, Twilight Walker. So this was a mix that we came up with, trying to find a way of replacing tyre black. So tyre black is a fantastic pigment, but it's extremely difficult to get hold of in this country. And I've got a couple of different ways around that. Coal black by P3 mixed with black works. This was Incubi Darkness from GW mixed with black. And then blended up using Gravedigger Denim from P3, Administratum Grey. It was about 4 passes with the airbrush. And it works really well, I think. So we have another method of painting black without using tyre black. It's not quite as nice. I still think tyre black is the best way to go. I mean, for painting tyres, tyre black, it's something there that just tells me it's going to be good, right? And yes, a little bit of blue in there. Gravedigger Denim, I'll grab the paints in a sec, is a sort of mid-grey blue from P3. And P3 paints are, I feel, like some of the best all-round paints you can use. They're just so good. They've got great coverage. They've got really, really powerful pigments because of how finely ground they are. And whilst the company is based out in California, I think, the paints are made by a British company not too far away from where I live. About an hour and a half drive, I think. So I like the fact that I'm supporting a British industry as well. Painting guard dry brush shit, painting Necrons, get that dry brush out, or Space Marines. No, never dry brush. Last year I picked up a dry brush 4 times. And I painted 467 models. No need to dry brush. Right, there we go. We've got the insets on all the wheels. I'll tell you what. Do I need any silver on this? I could do those bits, which would tie it in nicely to that bit of bumper. Let's do that. And we're going to go into the whip very soon. So the vote command that's in the chat is because we are going to be celebrating our stream's 2nd anniversary in a couple of months. So the last weekend of April is our stream's 2nd birthday. And I'm super excited about it. Last year, for our 1st birthday, we painted up a Chaos Knight that was a custom sculpt, like hand-cast resin, this beautiful Chaos Knight, painted up in World Eater's colour scheme, back from the old days, like the blue and white classic version of their colours. And we raffled it off. And it's been sat in the winner's glass cabinet ever since. That's nearly a year. literally never seen a tabletop. It's got no like Chaos Knight friends to play with. It's just sat there bored and lonely by itself. So what we're doing this year is we're going to give away an army. So in the same vein as last year, we're letting the community decide a lot of things. And this time around, the community is not only written army lists to be included in the giveaway. So the list that we've got, the 5 lists that you can vote on with that link, are lists that the community has come up with. And that they've voted on to shortlist to 5. I've then added stuff to the list to make sure it's things that are like attainable to paint in a weekend, and it's a full enough army as well, like, you know, worthy of the prize. So you've then taken those lists and boosted them a little bit. Just realised we missed a bit on the steering wheel. And then the community is voting to go from 5 down to 1. So which army are we going to paint in the course of a weekend on stream and raffle off? Let's have a look, see what the scores are right now. So here we go. Here we go. Here's where we're sat with our votes. It's really close at the top. Really, really close at the top. But Tau bringing up the rear with 18 votes. Sally's in second with 30. Our Space Wolf Dreadnought list with Bjorn, some Assault Intercessors, Murderfang, and 2 Venerable Dreads coming in third with 45 votes. 15 votes ahead is a Sisters of Battle list. This is a very small army points-wise, but quite a large model count army. It's some Sisters with a Canoness, a Repentia Superior, 9 Repentia, 5 Celestians, and a Rhino. And then in the lead with 66 votes, only 6 votes ahead right now. Only 6 votes ahead. I love how the chat is divisive on this. It's the Tyranids. A Neurothroop, Old One Eye, 2 units of Warriors, some Rippers, 5 Zoanthropes, and a Carnifex. Not gonna lie. I kind of want to paint it. I do. I really do. But this is a very cool list. It's a very competitive, small army. So, yeah. Go and vote. Exclamation point vote. Go do it. Right now, though, what we will do is go into the whip. So here's my whip from the evening. We've got this guy done to the state that he's at the moment. We've got a lot of washes to do and so on. But we've now done a lot of work to get that to a point where we can carry on with the yellow. Basically, that's all we wanted to do tonight. We airbrushed these after doing the yellow. Same with this. Just to be sure that any overspray that we got, like this down here, can be corrected nice and easily with no issues, right? Theory, shouldn't the armies be 507? No, they're ready to play now. You don't have to play a points limit that's exactly 500. You can do power level, you can play narrative, you can play crusade, you know, whatever you want. But I didn't want to do, like, here's a 1,000-point list of so-and-so. Because a 1,000-point list of orcs is going to be 90 boys plus some characters. And I'm not painting that in a weekend. So it's a set of lists that the community has written that I've added to. You see the visual on Warhammer Community today, totally on his tail? Possibly. Possibly. It could be Nids. It could be a bit of base detail on another Katchan mini. Could be anything. Could be anything. Womposaurus, you're right. Could have Speed War. 100% could have done a Speed War, but none of you guys wrote a list for it. I wrote a list for it. Didn't get voted. No, mine wasn't a Speed War. Mine was... Yeah, was it a Truck Boys? Yeah, I had a Speed War. Didn't have the votes. But it's whip time. Exclamation point whip or exclamation point Discord. Go and join the community there. And let's have a look and see what you guys have been painting. So Nivea says, you've seen most of these, but wanted to display the different units I've made so far. Got Shining Spears in the pipeline. I have to figure out the next unit. Feedback much appreciated. You still need to do something with that melter gun. And other than that, I think what you've got is pretty good. So for anyone that doesn't know what this is, the black bits are all where their naked out are, basically. So he's censored that for the stream. But it's all 3D printed, but sculpted by Nivius. That's Sergeant Rolf in Discord, in the chat here. So he's done his own sculpts, heavily inspired by GW kits, as you can see. And they look pretty good. Really, really nice quality. So, things that I think you need to do is definitely enhance the blue on that melter gun. We talked about that on the Hellstorm stream yesterday. You need to do black base rims, not brown, because it just looks better. That's kind of it, to be honest, mate. Everything else is good. I still think you rushed the blending on the Fire Warriors armor a little bit, though. I think for that, you know, it's nowhere near as smooth as your other blends. So just consider that when you're doing the rest of the unit. But all in all, I like it, dude. Definitely black base rims. SW Miniatures, more work on the Cow Elves and redo of the spear tip. Okay, so here's the Cow Elves. That's a very, very nice blue. Very nice blue. Exactly, Gunbleeder. No one wants a rim job that's really brown. It's no good. Yeah, big fan of this, mate. Nice work with the airbrush. Really, really captured the bright highlights on there. I like it. Redo the spear tip. That looks good. That looks really good. Super bright in comparison. Saragon, yes. What's that other icon you've got? Turbo. What is Turbo, Saragon? Ah! No, I don't want to do that. I clicked on your icon and Twitch is trying to charge me money. Right. No thanks. Yeah, looking good there. Here's a close-up of one of those spears. I really like it. Super bright. They're a little bit too skinny to do the two-tone, so like dark to light, and then light to dark. But it's paying Twitch to never show me any damned ads. Oh, I see, I see. Fair enough. Yeah, good stuff, mate. Keep it up. Let's see a finished unit. Right, Kuno Matata, test print of a Tomb Kang. Oh, I see. This is Tomb Kings for Sigmar or something. Okay, cool. It's a water snake right now. Okay, cool. 60 Iron Breakers assembled this morning. So it's only 30 real models though, so that's fine. So, if you're paying Twitch, then yes, it will, Saragon, and that's really good of you. So, Kikita normally with just some like dark browns. Wait, do you mean like black as in like salamanders, where it's like legit, like the color black? Because for that, just like black and grey, basically that's it. But for like the more traditional black skin tones, you're looking at browns and reds. You can mix some purples in there. You can actually, depending on like how old or something you want them to be, you can mix some greens in. That works. So, Drunk Mystic, calling this guy done. Time to start on the base. Nice, dude. I think you phoned it in with the Ghost. I think everything else you've put a lot of work in, and the Ghost doesn't match the rest of what you've got there. Like, look at that from that side. The Ghost, which is one of the brightest bits of that, is sat there off to one side, and the chair commands all of the attention. Let's pop this open. So you haven't dry brushed it, and that's the good thing. Okay, you have used the technical paints, and I don't love them. You've got a really good go of getting into those recesses with like the different colour, the blues and stuff like that. You know, that's really like good to see. I think maybe you should thin down everything you've put on there, like the green and the blue. Glaze it in again over the lighter colours that you've got. And then maybe pull out a couple of highlights afterwards as well. That would reduce the amount of separation that you've got there. It would also brighten it a little bit more, perhaps. That's probably where I'd go with it, but I'd want that to jump out at you a little bit more. The rest of this mini, you've nailed it, and that, like in that gem behind him, looks really good. Like that little stippled bit of white on there is. There's been some solid work, some really solid work, but I'm not loving the ghost. Everything else looks great, but like I said, from this angle, you don't even really see that. You see the chair, and the chair is amazing. Right, Crazy Act. He's doing more of the undead people. After seeing this on the Hellstorm stream yesterday, I'm still trying to work out what is different. So give me a sec while I look around the pics. Wait, that's a different guy entirely. Okay. I don't know what's happened on here, but I feel like you've made the NMM on the helmet brighter. I think you have. I still think you need more contrast in the face, like some more contouring going on. And he's got this little, says that the gem in the middle of his head, and there's this little design that goes around it and comes down to here. I think that needs to be ever so slightly different colour to his face. So make that like more in keeping with the bone on top of the weird antler things he's got, but separate it a little bit more. Because I've only just realised now, and it's the third time I've seen this model, I think, that isn't part of his face. But otherwise, this is looking stonking. You've obviously done more work on the weapon since last time we had it on this stream, but I think that might have been pre-yesterday's stream with Mikey. Looking good though, man. Looking really good. You've done more work on a spear. Like I said, I think he might have done. Certainly since the last time it was here, but I don't know if this was since yesterday's stream. The helmet's definitely had some more work done to it though. Looking good, man. Looking good. And again, love that red. You've taken some of the things that we do here with red and really pushed them to get super solid. Mostly on the other side. Alright, sweet. Let's look at this dude though. This guy is new. So this is the Bone Samurai, I guess. Nice work on the sword. I like that. I'm not sure his helmet is finished. But the fact you've done the crystal and so on in there makes me think that it might be. I think it needs more. It's very unpolished. Cool. Good to know. But yeah, this guy's cool. Obviously got more NMM going on in the headdress thing. Red looking very strong. Careful with some of the shadows on the shoulder. So his left shoulder, some of those are looking a little too harsh. Just maybe glaze a little around those on the top edge to soften that a little. That might just be the light though. And this looks good. I can see a couple of brush strokes though, so just be careful with that. Well, at least I can see texture, whether it's brush strokes or not, remains to be seen. But he looks cool. He looks really cool. Very different model as well. Keeps the same sort of theme as the big boy over here, but very unique models. I like them. Small one-day project, get back into painting after over a month off. I goddamned love oil washes, says Saragon. So here is the Starship Enterprise from the film Khan Strikes Back, which I really liked. And obviously we've got many oil washes going on. So this is good. Let's see this though. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you very much, SJ Parters, for the cheers. Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, look at it. So much just from oil washes, right? Look at all the detail on this damn thing. Fucking crazy. How true to the film is this? I fixed my dodgy sprue usage. I'll post some more snaps. Alright. But I couldn't tell you how close to real colour schemes this is. Civil Gentlemander, turning in with a wah, 90% on brand. That's not bad. That's not bad. Wait, how big is this? You got a Canadian doubloon next to it. Oh shit, that's small. I don't know why, but for some reason I saw this and I was like, oh, it's this big. I don't know why. There's a fucking keyboard there. It's like this, right? That's not. Oh, mate. Having done the Aeronautica Imperialis planes, you've got my sympathy, because every detail on those planes is like painting a fucking eyeball. Now I understand the scale of this thing a lot more. Damn. So, yeah, nice work. Good stuff. Good stuff. Right, Rutang. Added some black to the licks of flame off the sword and some text lines on the seals. Yes, mate. Yeah, sword looks good. You could add a very small amount of bone to the yellow you've been using to really push the highlights on them if you wanted to. Totally up to you. It will desaturate it ever so slightly. But if you use it on the elements you've got on the sword blade, like the straight line that goes into the flame, you can add just this extra like pop to those areas. And that works really well. Looking tight though, man. Looking tight. Just the base to do. Let's look at this scroll. Make sure you did your homework. You did your homework. Good stuff. Yeah, nice, man. Very nice. Get that base done, and Bobby G is ready to be on deck. Alright, it's frozen! Here he is. Nice, mate. Nice. Nice little bit of OSL. Yeah, big fan of these. Your Blackstone and mine are miles apart. Mine is very much like teal colour. You've gone for something that's a lot darker than that. I love your little highlights you've put in on the cracks down at the bottom there. Yeah, looking good, dude. Looking really, really sharp. Exclamation point Frozen in the chat. Are they done? Like, finished done? I know the bases are. Just thinking, the one on the left looks brighter than the one on the right. I don't know if that's just my eyes and the fact that I've been edge highlighting all day. It could just be that. So, nearly. Okay. But nice work, bro. Really nice work. There's some tight edge highlighting down those letters. Right, Jake Sue Pence. Don't worry, mold lines cleaned. Using sprues to make life easier. Chaplain Torrentus, who will be the next Dark Angels Terminator Chaplain. Okay, cool. I've got this guy. He is somewhere, I think, just off screen, actually. It's bouncing the light. Yeah, totally. It's a good start. It's a good start. I'm liking what you've got going on the scroll work there. And Zebstar1007, thank you for the follow. That's one big old skull face. You could probably do, I appreciate all this is a whip. You could probably do with just getting into some of the recesses there and really like helping separate different parts of the skull. In a recent Patreon video, there was some good ways of doing skulls on a Blood Angels Blade Guard Veterans, actually. There's nothing wrong with doing this, mate. It's not my preferred style. I tend to use, like, as you can see, things like this. So this is just a paper clip where the bottom is just like flush to the shot glass, blue tacked on, and it just drilled into the thing. It means that there's absolutely no way of getting any mold lines left behind, and you can get a lot more of assembly parts of it done as well. Nice, Jake. We'll have a look in a sec. Yeah, good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Keep it going. Let's see what he's done. Right, Gummer did the wing spines on my Clawed Fiends yesterday, and today did some painting on my converted racks. Screw 5 ones for 22 quid on a Horde unit. So these look like some Warhams thing. Is this? I want to say maybe Deepkin. I have no idea. With spare parts from probably some Talos, it looks like. Let's see what might be macro scalpels in a few places. Carrick Acolytes. Zench Dudes. Zench Dudes, Forgebreaker, thank you. Because Carrick Acolytes means fuck all to me, unfortunately. But these look cool. These look really cool. What's the cost saving between this and the racks? Witches helmets and Talos parts. Nice. Yeah, I thought I recognised some of the Talos bits. So how much does a unit of this cost? Oh, excuse me, compared to, what's that? It would be £42 brand new. Sorry, 44. But these looking sexy. I'm really, really glad you went back in and did those spines in the wings. It looks so much nicer. They were looking great beforehand, and now they're just like, 20 models for 30 quid. Shit in the bed. That's nearly a third of the price. I figured not including bits, because obviously the Talos aren't cheap. You get a lot of spares with the Talos. No, these look great, dude. But you're going to have to do one pretty big favour, and that is get that rim job tidied up. No one likes a sloppy rim job, and it's just where you've handled it, it's rubbed off. Second rim job, got to be done. But these are beautiful, mate. Really, really like that colour scheme. Super impressive. Well done. Right, MC. Working on a Primaris Tech Marine. Need to sort the edge lines on the metal on the base. And the chest needs touching up. It's very much whip. Okay. That is a bold highlight, bro. That is a bold highlight. God, I'd love to see this when it's all together. I get a bit more sense of it than the lone leg. I'm getting some strong Iron Man vibes from that. I like it. This looks much more restrained. Still Very bold. Cork bark. Nice. Lots of extreme highlighting. Even the bit of the base you've got there is like that. So yeah, I'd love to see this when it's fully done, man. I like seeing things that are a little bit different to the norm. Yours is a little bit more heavy metal style of painting, so like boxed highlights around everything than mine. But there's still quite a lot going on in the armor panels themselves. Like you can see on here, you've got those darker areas in the middle of the panel to really start bringing some life to this. So, doing a blue helmet to throw it off a little. Okay. Okay. Different. See, lots of love for these wings. Yeah. His recipe, for those who wanted to know, was airbrushed from dark purple, adding white to highlight and gave him a really nice thinned glaze of shy-ish purple contrast. Then an extremely light dry brush of white, then paint the spines Bugman's glow with a thicker wash of shyish purple to reach a shade where they join the membrane. There you go. This is Modfly, and this is really good as well. Your leg will be a robotic leg. Okay, cool. He's a bit of a mismatch then, is what you're saying. Purple contrast is good. That'll do. Like this though, man. Great colour scheme. So the teal armour is what I've done on all of Ben's Death Guard. I really, really like that way of painting a Nurgle thing. That fully oxidized kind of metal. Big fan. Love what you've done with skin tones. That axe looks sick as fuck. Great work on the base. Simple, kind of understated, but just brings that whole model together. Yeah, really, really nice work, dude. Top stuff. Top stuff. Yeah, I'll meet that. Right, post dodgy sprue usage. Yes, definitely post dodgy sprue usage. So something I've noticed here is some of your paint looks to be a little bit thick. If you look at those scrolls, there's almost a texture showing. And the same a little with the skulls as well. What I'd suggest is, on my palette, if I pop this in view, it's a bit of a mess, but you know, it's what we've been using today. You know, I've always just got a little bit of water on my palette, and just have a little squeezy bottle that you can just like drop some fresh water on there, rather than going in and out of your paint pot. Then you just take some of that water, pick up some paint, you know, adjust to taste, as it were. And you've always got paint of the right consistency. And almost every time before I do a brush stroke, I'll bring my brush to the palette, just touch the water slightly, pick up paint, and then I'll go. And it's always the right consistency then. And that stops you from having any lines that have a pronounced texture to it. So especially for things like edge highlighting. So on this bite you can see there's some really tight edge highlights, very thin lines of paint on there. That's how you get those without it being like you sort of spatulaing paint onto your mini. Gotta be thin to have that. So a year off from minis, but finally I tried to get back to it, mate. You've lost no skill in that year. Kicks ass. Well done. A lot of GW paints, Jake, are thicker than they need to be. You need to thin them to apply them. All right. If you go too far and you end up doing 4 coats, you know you've gone too far. When you're putting down a base layer on something with a Games Workshop paint, you probably want to have to do 2 full coats to get the right opacity for it. That's about the right kind of thing. And my usual tip, the thing that I tell everyone, is that if you put your brush into paint and you have to scoop it up off the palette, it's too thick. If you put your brush into paint and as soon as your brush tip goes in the paint, it just sort of balloons out like this, it's too thin. But if you put your brush into the paint and it just pulls paint up into the bristles itself, its own capillary action, and doesn't change the shape of the brush tip, it's pretty much perfect. Depends on what you're doing and what color you've got, obviously, but 90% of the time, that's about right. You can see, if you look at the cloak there, the blue, you've got a couple of spots that are just a little bit of a rougher texture. Sometimes that's the primer, but it can be, if your paint's not thin, you're leaving behind a texture when you put it on the Mini. But I like it, dude. Keep it up. And that looks much better, that skull now. Next step, get some highlights in there, brow line, cheekbones, so on, teeth. Build that up, get it nice and bright before you put it back on the Mini. Good work though, dude. Really, really good work. So tonight, that's the end of the whip. We have done a lot of base coats on this. We got the airbrush out and just did some nice highlights and base coats, especially with things like our tires and some other accessories. We did a lot of metal work, so we've got all these things going on, which means that I can now finish off the video on how to paint yellow, which we started filming today and will be up on YouTube on Friday. So if you'd like to learn how to paint yellow exactly like this, especially point YouTube, go and give us a sub. You get a new video every 2 weeks, and alternating with that every 2 weeks, you get a new Patreon video as well if you're a Patreon member. Weekly guides on Patreon as well, where you can get all this in a written format should you prefer that. Now though, it's time to pass on the hobby love and go and raid somebody. So let's see who is still streaming. Before we do, exclamation point vote. Don't forget to vote. Currently, Tyranids are in the lead, 68 to 60, with Doggo Dreadnought Spam coming up with 45. These guys need a miracle for this or this to make the list now. But these two, kind of close in. Kind of close in. Right, let's see who's streaming. Let's see. Who haven't we streamed to in a while? I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll go and look for the minifigs category. When's the end of the voting? It will be not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So I want to say it's the 21st, and I might be right. I am right. There you go. That gives me plenty of time to buy the army, source everything, and then we can work out the loadouts. So who we got? Jack of Clubs is painting like a robot thing. Slow fuse is on. That's D&D. That's not what we want. Tempted to just find someone that we don't normally raid and just sort of boom. Just look down right at the bottom. Who's got like a viewer? There's a. That's weird. And a stream. Someone else is doing Orks. No, we jumped into Orks last time. Let's do something else. Got some Deathwing Knights, and Tau. What's this guy doing? Not a clue. Not a clue. Nothing here's really like grabbing me. That's Age of Sigmar. Yeah. Captain Mad Love's on. Two Orks, Malev. Oh, you know what? I've never seen this person. She's talking about dice. Alright. Lost me there. Fuck it. It's going to be Malev. Malev's my boy. Absolutely love this guy. Super, super chilled painter. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Plank Walker, take care, bro. Thanks for stopping by. Much love. Got 68 viewers ready to raid. I'm hoping when we press the button it goes to 69 just for the memes, because he'd love that. Hopefully, we'll see you guys on our next stream, which is Thursday night, live at 9, as always, where we're going to have the vote going on for the next giveaway mini to we put out this month. When we get to Maled's stream, as always, spam those emotes. Get Meeps going in everywhere. He's going to be throwing shurikens. I want cats... I can't say that on stream. I want Meep icons being thrown back at him. Okay? Let's do it. We'll see you there. Peace out, everyone.